Hello everyone and welcome to episode 5 of our Slow Chill Forever World Survival Let's Play. I am ND Gamer Mom and I am so glad you are here again today. As you can see, I am working on getting myself a little snack and I encourage you to do the same. Go ahead, get some water or a comforting beverage, a blanket or a hoodie and cozy in and we'll get started. Now, last episode, we built this cozy little cave cottage behind us that you can see here, but this episode is all about getting food to feed myself and my little fur family. You can see that I've climbed up here to this little lake we have underground here, but there's not a lot of headspace and it isn't the easiest thing to get to. So I think we're going to start by giving ourselves some better ease of access while we're here. And as for this area, this is where I would like to set up our farms. Now, I am a big fan of some tiered farmland, but I'm also thinking that maybe I want to introduce some hanging gardens to kind of incorporate some of what we've got going on with the various mine shafts in here. I don't know. We'll see what happens as we go. But of course, what are crops if we have no way of watering them? But technically, at our lake, we do have an infinite water source, but again, that's not going to be the most convenient way to go up and down and bring water back. So, since we have this plethora of waterfalls here, I figure why don't we just go ahead and make a more distinct water feature here. It'll add some beauty to our area and of course give us a way to water our crops. And who knows, with any luck we may get some axolotls living here and add even more friends to our family. And that is our water feature and fishing area all done. Let me give you a quick tour of what we've done here. So you can see we have added some moss elements. We have the main waterfall that we started with. Another waterfall up here. We've planted some firefly bushes from the surface down here to give it extra lighting, brought in more of the drip leaf and mossy elements from the cave. And we have added slabs to the outside of everything so that if we do get some axolotls in here, they won't accidentally wander out and get themselves dehydrated. And then if we follow the stairs up here, Again, we have gates to keep our oxalotl friends from getting out and dehydrated, but we can easily access our boat and go fishing. And as you can see, I haven't addressed really the headspace issue yet, but that's okay. I still want this to feel like it is a lake we discovered inside of a natural cave, so I might revamp the area as I go. Definitely going to add more glow berries as they grow in, but that's pretty much it. Oh, and this is a really, really active slime chunk here. Let's take care of this guy really quick. Now though, it is confession time because of course this wouldn't be an episode if I didn't get distracted by a side quest or two. So while I was working on this area, I did hear some noises coming from way up there. So we pillared up to take a look, and there is a huge expanse of the lush cave above us. So we went through to light things up, and well, this happened. Nope. And of course, I had picked up the bed that I slept in, but hey, that's why we built a house at spawn. Isn't isn't that garden growing and lovely here now? So we did make it back in time to grab a handful of items before, well, we died again. But it's a good thing we were able to get that because by the time we made it back a second time, everything else was gone. So we only managed to come away with most of our armor, thankfully, our bed, and all of the food we had, which is great since, this episode was supposed to be all about feeding us now that we live underground. But we did lose most of our tools, which unfortunately included our diamond pickaxe. And then I decided that this area wasn't going to be complete without some lily pads, which I could not for the life of me get by fishing. So we went on a little topside adventure. Now, granted, we only had to go about 1,000 blocks west to find ourselves a swamp, but while we were there, we did find ourselves some frogs. Um, I did not have any slime balls to breed them, but I wrote down the coordinates, so it might be fun to go back and do that and see if we can bring some tadpoles and breed them in our little pond right here, so we have some extra company. On our way home, of course, I did get a little bit turned around and lost. You know me, that's a thing that's going to happen. We accidentally ended up here at this illager outpost. It looks like they have some prisoners. I wasn't really equipped to deal with them, but I marked those coordinates down too. So hopefully in a future episode, we can go back for a rescue mission. And then, as we were passing back by our spawn house on our way home, we found yet another village. And they had carrots! Hello, sir. I couldn't help noticing that you had carrots. Would it be all right with you if I pulled one of these carrots and then left an emerald for you in your chest? Is that agreeable? Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. And I will just leave this right here. Thank you. Which is really exciting because that was the only main crop we were missing. And that's going to be important later. I'll tell you why when we get there. But now we can go ahead and start building our gardens down here, and we'll be able to plant all of the crops: potatoes, beets, carrots, wheat, and of course, we have pumpkins and melons. So let's go ahead and cue that montage, and I'll show you what we have when we're done. See you in a bit. All right, so we have finished our farming area. We did end up going with the tiers instead of with the hanging gardens, just because I have some other plans for the areas around here and I didn't want them to kind of get in the way of each other. So let me show you a little bit of what I've done here. So over here you can see we have our pumpkin patch. It goes immediately into our melon patch. We have a tier of beets. Our carrots have come in so beautifully. And our potatoes actually took a really long time to grow up enough to reseed. And then, of course, we have our wheat up here so we can make all the bread that we could ever want. We went ahead and planted a vineyard full of glowberries here so that we can grow them and have them just ready for whenever we want them, since we still have a large area, as you can see, that we need to light up. Well, then we went ahead and planted a couple of berry bushes. A couple of berry patches, I mean. And even if we don't end up eating a lot of these, I think they'll just be really great to have things that grow fast that we can feed to our composter, just so that we can get bone meal to grow the things that we really want really fast. So that is pretty much our food situation taken care of. We are in a much better place now. I think what I would like to go ahead and tackle next is get back down into our diamond strip mine and get enough diamonds so that we can finally get a full set of armor, which is going to be important not least of all because, well, slimes have started spawning in our basement. Wait, why are you in my basement? How did you get here? You're so big. Did you just spawn in here? And I don't want to be caught unawares while we are at home. Alright, friends, we were finally able to get enough diamonds to make ourselves a full suit of armor. There we go, and we even had enough left over to be able to make ourselves a diamond pickaxe and replace the one that we lost when we died. We were also able to refill our iron stores. I cannot believe how many iron veins we are finding in the tough deposits here, especially after our first couple of days underground. So it's making me really thrilled that we decided to make our base here. Now, if you're wondering what comes next, I did find this while I was out and about. And while I do have a silk touch hoe that I found in a chest near one of those ruined nether portals, I don't really have a whole lot of wool. So, something to think about for next time. Now, today is going to be a bit of a shorter episode, but I feel like we got so much done. We have this water feature behind us with the fishing area on top. We have our farmland with all of our crops to feed us and our fur family. We have our lovely vineyard full of glowberries over here, and of course, our sweet berry patches. We did some adventuring and exploring, and we got more than a full stack of diamonds, which of course meant upgrading our armor and some of our tools. I really like how things are shaping up around here. Even if it feels slow, that's kind of the point. I mean, we're going to be here forever, so there really is no rush. There is one more thing though I would like to do today, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into something a little more comfortable, and I'll meet you over in the potting area. Before we end things today, I'd like to spend some time and add some of the new samples that we found in our adventures today. I also forgot to mention that we did come across a cherry biome on our way back, so we managed to grab a sapling, and we'll go ahead and plant that too. And we'll put our cherry blossom right there. Thank you so much for joining me again today, everybody. If you liked anything you saw or heard today, please do leave a like or subscribe. And if you can think of anything that you'd like to see in future episodes, go ahead and leave me a comment. In the meantime, eat well, stay hydrated, get plenty of rest, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time. Bye.